every choice you make in games is equal. For example, picking your favourite armour isn't the same as deciding the fate of a character or which faction you're going to join. However, in some games, the most important and world-changing consequences come from the most mundane of actions. I'm Cy for WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 seemingly insignificant video game choices that spiral out of control. Number 10. Selling the Gith Egg, Baldur's Gate 3. The choices you make in Baldur's Gate 3 usually have some consequences later down the road. However, sometimes it can be hard to predict what exactly a specific choice will entail, or what the scale of its consequences can be. The best example of this is the choice involving stealing a Gith Egg in Act 1 of the game. In the Mountain Pass region, where your party finds a Gith Yankee Crash, you come across a merchant who asks you to steal one of the Gith Eggs so that she may sell it to the Society of Brilliance. Naturally, you'd expect that stealing one of the Gith Yankee offspring would antagonise them. However, what you don't anticipate is later down the line in Act 3, choosing to help the woman has, spoiler alert, a rather shocking outcome. When you visit the Society in Baldur's Gate, it turns out they managed to hatch the Gith Yankee from the egg. But as they tried to educate the hatchling on how to be a good person, he decided to murder all of them for kidnapping him and therefore betraying the very laws they taught him. From stealing to being an accessory to murder, what a way to speedrun crime. Number 9. Joining the Epsilon program, Grand Theft Auto 5. Hit that subscribe button if Trevor is your favourite GTA 5 protagonist. And I mean, out of all three of them, he's unequivocally the most unhinged. And yet when it comes to individual missions, it's actually Michael who embarks on the strangest journey in the entire game, complete with alien hunting and ugly baby blue tracksuits. By participating in a short online quiz from his phone, Michael can join the cult of Epsilon and begin a series of bizarre and hilarious missions about becoming one of Kiflom's chosen children. The premise itself is already enough to make the Epsilon missions one of the most unique experiences in GTA 5, but what really sets them apart from the rest of the game is that each new initiation into the cult forces Michael to take on increasingly ridiculous tasks. You start off searching for alien artifacts with a celebrity star and end up running 5 miles in the desert in a custom-made tracksuit that you had to cough up 25 grand for. You don't really know what kind of insanity you're signing up for when you curiously come across Epsilon's website online. In fact, a lot of players don't even realise these missions exist because they never assume the online quiz will actually amount to anything. Number 8. Investigate the Noise, The Quarry. The Quarry, like any other supermassive title, features choices and decisions that may lead you to your death. Usually, the lethal consequences of such actions take time to take effect, giving you a chance to react and perhaps save yourself at the last minute. However, there's one deadly option in The Quarry that takes no time when it comes to dooming your character. Worst of all, it seems like such a simple decision that it's hard to predict how quickly it will devolve into a brutal and messy end. Emma, the social media star of the group, can die from an instantaneous werewolf attack while exploring the island on the lake. The certain death hides behind only one simple choice: investigating a strange noise inside a cabin. There's no quick time event or further choice to make afterwards. As soon as you let curiosity take the best of you, well, let's just say Emma goes down like the cat. Of course, not going after strange noises is horror survival 101, but you expect the game to at least let you defend yourself. Unfortunately, the developers clearly wanted to punish the more curious players with a swift and ruthless turn of events. Number 7. Using the telescope, The Sims 2. The Sims games are known for their bizarre atmosphere. From cow plants to ghosts, the world of the cartoonish Sims is filled with oddities that make it charming and sometimes terrifying. Most of the absurdity in The Sims hits you when you least expect it. This is certainly the case with this one extraterrestrial secret in The Sims 2 that's the consequence of a rather inconsequential decision. In the game, if you choose to use the telescope, your Sim might become the victim of an alien abduction. When you order your Sim to gaze at the stars at night, there's a small chance the action will trigger a cutscene in which your terrified Sim is tractor beamed out onto an alien spaceship. From then on, things get only more serious and stranger. Your Sim will disappear from the lot for a few hours, their needs will change rapidly, and when the aliens finally let them go, if your Sim is male, they'll come back pregnant with an alien child. Really, this must be on you for assuming you're allowed to study astrology without becoming an interstellar parent. I mean, come on, that's like expecting to get out of a swimming pool without a ladder. Number 6. Pocket Circuit, Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0 features so many mini-games that you could almost consider it a Japanese arcade simulator with street fighting elements just kind of dusted in. Each minigame is rather complex in its own right, but the one that features the most in-depth mechanics and an even fuller storyline is the legendary Pocket Circuit. You pick a mini-kit car, put it on the track, and then try to go faster than your opponent without falling off. However, it doesn't take long for this simple concept to develop into something much more. The pocket circuit quickly turns from friendly races against pocket car enthusiasts into a whole soap opera with heated rivalries, dramatic twists and turns, and a competition that's so intense you can almost forget it's actually about tiny cars going around in circles. The minigame is tons of fun and really advanced to the point where calling it a minigame feels like a disservice to it. You'll be on the edge of your seat the entire time, getting more involved in trying to beat your opponent's plastic toys than avenging the deaths of Kiryu's companions. Number 5, talking with a vending machine, Cyberpunk 2077. The era of making friends with your office colleagues around the water cooler might be coming to an end, but at least Cyberpunk 2077 allows you to make friends around the vending machine, or actually more specifically make friends with the vending machine. The secret side mission, Coin Operated Boy, begins with coming across a talking vending machine called Brendan. You may choose to treat him like any other soda dispenser in the city, but if you choose to engage Brendan in a conversation, a series of strange, wholesome, and utterly mind-boggling events will follow. The conversation with Brendan will allow you to befriend him and come back for more conversation and discussions about AI. Eventually you learn that Brendan has more human friends, and one of them even sees him as her therapist. The quest only gets stranger once Brendan is taken away by his company, which wants to give him a factory reset. You and the woman join forces over your mutual love of Brendan and try to break him out of the facility before he's gone forever. The quest is a wild ride of drama, plot twists, and interesting conversations about the state of artificial intelligence. And all of it happens because you decided to engage in conversation with an artificial soda peddler. Number 4, investing in Mallow's business, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Of all these Zelda games, Twilight Princess has the darkest and most serious tone. And yet this doesn't stop it from introducing wacky characters like Mallow, the baby-faced merchant from Kakariko Village who may bring absolute chaos into your game with just one simple choice. Early into the game, Mallow is just a small business owner. His shop consists of one shoddy room where he sells rudimentary items using only his great advertising skills to bring in more clients. However, this can all change when you decide to invest in his business. A donation as small as 200 rupees can help Mallow buy out the shop of his competitor in Castletown and turn it into, well, let's just say something equally adorable and disturbing. With Mallow in charge, the shop turns from a posh boutique into a rainbow-coloured madhouse, filled with fantastical customers who dance to Mallow's odd choice of music and sing about how great the prices of his merchandise are. In fact, Mallow Mart becomes a huge success, and as a reward, the new Castletown mogul lets you purchase the magic armour, which makes Link literally invincible for 598 rupees instead of its original asking price of 100,000, because friends support friends. Number 3, investing in Ras Excavation, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Skyrim has plenty of crazy quests, but even the simpler of them can lead to some rather extraordinary circumstances, like the quest from the Dragonborn DLC called Unearthed. This is activated by donating a little gold to Raylis Sedaris, who wants to hire some miners to excavate an ancient Nordic tomb. The donation won't do anything at first, but after a while Raylis will send a letter asking for your help disposing of some of his enemies. This begins a long chain of events where Raylis' expedition will keep uncovering new parts of the tomb and unleashing another ancient danger, which you will then have to defeat before Raylis asks you for even more gold to keep going. The final point of this quest is when Raylis finally awakens a legendary dragon priest, who turns everyone insane and makes them kill each other to escape from his tomb. And all of this happens because of one insignificant donation. That's why it's important to donate to reputable charities only. Number 2, helping Kent get the Silver Shroud costume, Fallout 4. Fallout 4's post-apocalyptic wasteland is a strange place filled with mutants, ghouls, raiders, and teleporting murder bots. So what could the game throw at you that could really surprise you in this kind of world? Well, how about becoming a real-life superhero? A pre-war comic geek named Kent asks your character to recover the costume of his favourite hero, the Silver Shroud. And while this seems like an easy enough job, the consequences of accepting Kent's offer quickly spiral out of control. When you deliver the costume to him, the man will ask you to don it and become a real-life incarnation of the Silver Shroud. From that point, you begin your new career as a superhero, fighting off petty criminals and eventually taking on an entire mafia trying to kill your vigilante alter ego, as well as your sidekick, Kent. However, if that doesn't sound like a fun and outrageous series of events, the decision to become the Shroud extends beyond even the quest itself. After you complete it, your character will be able to roleplay as the vigilante in random dialogue options, and even fight their arch nemesis as the Shroud in the Automatron DLC. Number 1, retrieving Cys Ribbon, The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. The Blood and Wine DLC comes with a rather difficult conundrum in the final mission. You either need to kill the vampire vampire Detlef before he destroys the city, or let him kill the beloved sister of the Duchess, Cyanna, who tricked him into sabotaging Toussaint. Luckily, there is a way to avoid the consequences that come with either decision, and all it takes is participating in one simple game of Gwent. During the mission where you rescue Cyanna from being trapped in the fairy tale world, you may come across a girl who possesses a blue ribbon. The ribbon supposedly belongs to Cyanna, and she will ask you to retrieve it for her. At that point, you may choose to win it for her in a game of Gwent, and while it seems like a simple act of kindness and, an excuse to play the addictive card game, you soon realise doing so is a major plot point. Bringing Cyanna to Detlef in the final mission normally results in her death, but if you get her the ribbon, the girl can actually use it to teleport back to the fairy tale world before the vampire does her in. This outcome will actually spare you from serving prison time for letting Cyanna die and actually fix her relationship with her sister, providing you with the best possible ending. See, all of those hours playing Gwent were good for something after all.